Welcome to another episode of Love Living Local 315. We are your hosts, Scott and Kelly Greats, and today we're excited to bring you our conversation with Jimmy Fellone, from media strategist to food and film aficionado. Our next guest is bringing a fresh take to the table. As the creator of Takes and Plates, he's sharing and pairing movies with meals, highlighting local chefs, and showing us why Central New York is the perfect backdrop for culinary adventures. A passionate storyteller who believes what we watch and what we eat connects us. So please help us welcome Jimmy to the Love Living Local 315 set. All right, so this is going to be fun. Food, TV shows, movies. We're going to talk about it all. Where do you want to start?
I mean, food is really what got me into this.
Right.
So that's probably where we should start. So the idea was, there's this term flowing around, right? It's passive income, right? Mm-hmm. It's especially more popular now than ever in the digital world. Like, creators can just do this little side hustle thing and make income, ideally with as less work as possible. And with what I do, the 9 to 5 at Romanelli at the ad agency, it's like, I would love my own little brand, right? You work with all these different brands all the time. I was like, it'd be nice to kind of have my own thing. No rules, my own little playground to kind of mess around, test different stuff. And I was just like, I got to just do this. And I was like, what should I do? Well, naturally, you're like, things I love. And I love food. I thought it'd be fun to throw my hat in the recipe game. I think there's a lot of websites out there that do a decent job, but some make you really scroll to get those, ingredients, jump to recipe and all that stuff. And I have tools at my disposal to really kind of see how they're doing, like web traffic wise, which obviously more traffic, more money. And I was like,
sure,
I don't know. I think I could probably do this, but I knew I needed a brand, and I didn't want to just do food because if everyone does food, how are you going to stand out? And I really just love movies and shows, and I think now more than ever, it's become more of our like day-to-day conversations. Like, what are you watching and where are you watching it? And I just couldn't get that idea out of my head. And obviously I love it. And I was like, well, what if I just like paired them together? And I just made the food inspired by the film. And particularly, I really wanted to like just see how many words I could rank for on Google and just make money in the SEO world, and start with like local things like hats and broccoli and like Utica greens, something that's not like thousands and millions of searches, but hundreds that I can like just start, and then just kind of just keep going and see where it goes. And so then it was just a matter of, what should this be? Like, you got to give it people buy the brand, and I work with brands, so I know it's important. So I'm just like, I don't know, like, you're going on GoDaddy, you're like thinking of ideas, you're like, like hot takes and hot plates, and you're like, no, that's kind of long, and you're like, the takes don't need to be too hot. The plates probably should be for the most part, but then it was like, takes and plates, and I was like, well, I don't want people to have to type in takes and plates. Let's make it fun. Let's do a fun little end there, right? And takes and plates was born, and I basically was. The cool part about working for a family business is they tend to treat you like family. And I kind of like went to them and I was like, can you like kind of help me like make my vision a thing? Like, here's everything I'm thinking. Like, I promise, like, everything I learn on my behalf, it's going to benefit us. And like, I just want this to look as professional as possible. And, they said yes. I basically gave like a Shark Tank, like a whole pitch thing. It was kind of hilarious looking back on it. But it was just about patience, make the content, document food, like get better at all that stuff. And then when the website went live, it was a matter of make sure that these ads can get on there and make sure that I can make some passive income. Like, once you have one page that can rank for something on Google for ever, you don't got to touch it. Like, you're just making money, right?
All right. So my big takeaway from this is you came up with a name without AI, which is truly, because the whole time you're like, I was toying with this, toying with that. I'm like, just throw that shit in AI, man.
This was 4 years ago. This was before AI.
All right.
So this was a little brainchild I had probably right around COVID, where everyone's like having like, they're like, what should I do with my life? I was like, I really want to.
Drank.
I drank a lot,
and we ate at home a lot. Like, I cooked a lot. So
and so I wanted to get better at cooking. Like, that was another thing. Like, there were so many like reasons why I wanted to do this. One was to get better at cooking. Two, like, push people to cook themselves. Like, I'm sick of people being like, nah, I can't cook. Well, no, you just haven't tried. Like just try.
I'm not allowed to cook.
I feel bad. I don't. I'm a type A control
That's
freak in my
fine.
kitchen.
Breakfast.
Everybody knows
I'm
it.
allowed to do breakfast.
Yeah, he can do breakfast.
So this is fascinating because I don't know if we're foodies, but Kelly
I would-
does cook.
Yeah, I
Cooks
would.
well. And we like to eat out and experiment. You consider us foodies?
I do.
Okay.
I consider us foodies.
We're
for sure.
definitely wine drinkers, and we love the wine and food pairings and different events that places will do. So the whole idea of pairing to a show or a movie is fascinating. I like this.
Yes.
So you mentioned like that was a hats and broccoli.
Yes.
Okay, so like what does that pair with?
Well, that particular movie, so that is a kind of a lot of this can be a stretch. Probably the worst example, but I am ranking for number one on Google right for hats and broccoli right now, along with haddock franchise. So I just had to throw that out there.
Flexing.
I
on
looked at all your recipes.
Okay,
before.
there's always room for improvement, but that pairs with the Prestige because they're magicians, and I thought, oh, magicians wear hats. I don't even know if
We
they wore
watched that
hats in the movie.
Remember
It's
that?
Christopher Nolan, so
Oh, that,
and,
that movie was weird.
That was it was good though.
Confusing.
Yeah.
forgot
Go
that
ahead.
movie
I'm
was
easily
right now.
confused. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
He doesn't pay
We're just here
attention
to talk
very
to
well.
each other, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
I think some of my like earlier ones like were just it's as simple as peanut butter falcon with Shia LaBeouf and like finding something like a peanut butter was it monkey bread, like simple stuff, and a lot of them are a little bit more funny. Like I just did Donnie Darko, young Jake Gyllenhaal and Drew Barrymore and all those. And then it's there's a rabbit in the movie, and I was like, well, rabbits like carrots, and I'm like doing my little SEO.
You did the
thing.
carrot whoopie pie, right?
Yes, and I was like, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So if I'm making people like kind of smile or laugh at me or laugh with me, then I think it's cool, right? I mean, that's one way to stand out, like you said. And then hopefully people either take some plates when they see Donnie Darko, or they try the carrot cake whoopie pie, and maybe they never even watch it or make it, and it stands with them. That's
This
kinda
is a
cool.
great idea for unique dinner party ideas because we love to entertain, like, and I love to cook. And a lot of times I'll try and pair the food with whatever we're celebrating, whether it's Cinco de Mayo or Kentucky Derby
Tomorrow's a
or.
derby. Yep.
But so I love this sort of idea because I love to cook for people and entertain. And the fact that you're doing it for me, the entertainment and everything. And then I just have to follow the recipe. Are they your recipes or do you collaborate?
So that was the one hesitation, like to make sure that it's. So first of all, it's got to be good. It's got to be a good recipe.
Right.
So I wanted to bring things to people that host. I wanted to bring a side dish that people liked. And one of my favorite takes and plates is the movie Whiplash. And yeah, it's a play on words, but whipped mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are a top 5 side dish you should bring to anything. And when I really wanted to make sure I could make the best possible mashed potatoes, I literally watched like hundreds of
It
videos,
is
read
crazy.
as many blogs as possible. And I just, a little of this, a little of that. And I think that in the recipe world, like there's a lot of overlap. Like there's only so many ways you can do it. There's a lot of like common trends, but no, I'm happy with where I landed. But no, they're kind of my own.
They're your own versions
My
of
own
other
version
recipes.
of other recipes. Like the greatest, like copycat, like artists like tend to steal from, other great artists.
Well,
and
it's not
stuff like
stealing,
that.
you're
It's-
tweaking,
Yeah,
you
just a
know?
little tweak.
Yeah.
Copying. But yeah, they're really good mashed potatoes, so you should probably try them at some point.
All right, let's go back to the income piece of this. Talk to the people who don't understand, because Kelly asked me this morning reading the show notes. She's like, "What's SEO?" Right? So I know what SEO is.
I didn't know what that acronym stood
For
for.
those listening at home, let's talk about that and what it means to be number one on Google and how you create passive income from something like this.
Right. So again, I'm not really making that much either, so don't feel
Spill
bad.
the beans, Jimmy.
25 cents a day.
That's it. Like, do you get paid in a full quarter, or do they break that down?
They break
into
it down in
dimes,
increments of like $100 once you reach that threshold, but I'm not even there yet. But the goal is like passive income is like, if that 25 cents turns into $5 a day or, $25 a day over time, then that's pretty cool. It's just money I wouldn't have. It's fun money to just do stuff you maybe normally wouldn't, or buy things you don't need, which is always good. But no, SEO, search engine optimization, has been around for forever. It's pretty nerdy. I've been to some pretty nerdy conferences, MozCon out in Seattle. I've done some workshops. I've seen some results firsthand. Like, you just need to create content, which now is more popular in a video form, but in a website environment, that when people are searching for something, you follow this like checklist of things you need to do to make sure that Google's algorithm is recognizing your webpage as something that's what people want. And so if you do all those things, and it's a pretty, like, there's a lot that goes into it, but if you do those things, in theory, you should be in the top 10, top 5, and the more people that click your link, the more people that visit your page, the more people that get eyeballs on the ads. Maybe there's a Scott Grade's State Farm ad on my website. It's very possible. And, Google pays me, and then, everyone's happy for the most part, except for people getting the ads. I try it.
And they charge me for it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You pay Google, Google paid for
That's
me.
right.
So yeah, that's how it works.
So you have the website, and on the website, I visited. It's really cool. You can click on the recipes. You can click on your takes. You can click on. You also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and or TikTok.
Yes.
And you also highlight restaurants. And one of the things that I love is you talked about highlighting chefs who aren't storytellers. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's funny because, I think now more than ever, there are chefs that have leaped into the content creation space. And maybe it's a little easier for some of them to tell their stories and all of that. But for the most part, when you walk into a restaurant, you don't really have any interaction with the chefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're greeted by a pretty lady or a handsome fella and the host and the waiter and the waitress, and it's all about customer service. And you really don't get to see the face behind the plate that's being made. And I think it's important for everyone to have their stories told, and everyone can do it in different ways. Yeah, I just think that someone like Jeff Golden is never gonna, he's gonna post his daily specials, but you will probably never have heard of him if it wasn't for someone like a Takes and Plates to go in and wake up with him at 6 o'clock in the morning, watch him with his red headlamp and make his food and prep for his day. And I just think that that's really important. It's rewarding to do these collaborations, and it's cool to see the chef's side of things because you really get a new appreciation for how much hard work it really is. Like, yes, they're cooks, but these chefs are artists, and they're spending so much time and effort to make the best possible plates they can, and it's on everyone else to kind of just make sure people get there.
And people crave stories. By you doing that,
100%.
I didn't even know where Golden's was. And we've had another person recommend it to us on the podcast. But beforehand, before we started this, I didn't even know it was there. And I have driven up Genesee Street so many times that now I want to go there. I will go there because I know the story behind it. It's a Utica thing, same thing. Like, we drive by it all the time. But I watched your take on it, and I'm like, we need to make a stop there. People crave stories, and that's what makes people want to give business to those people.
And I'm glad you used the word artist because, how many different ways can you reinvent or create food? But these men and women keep doing it. And the creativity and the artistic mastery, really, there's a story to be told there. And most are, which sounds counterproductive, but most aren't socially, or I should say it this way, they're socially introverted, right? Where they pour their heart into what they do, but they do it for the love of it, not because they want the whole world to know about it, but that the whole world needs to know about it.
Yeah.
So they need people like you.
Right. I mean, and as they should be focusing on that stuff. I don't blame them for not telling their stories and sharing that stuff. It's on others like us, like you guys, going to those places, highlighting these places. And yeah, I just think that storytelling and honestly the film angle too, like it kind of like made sense for me to just start doing this stuff because I love it. I love movies. I love shows. I'm in marketing. I love like commercials. I love the content side of things. And I think my approach to making something 90 seconds, fast-paced, engaging is a challenge. And I was up for the challenge, really. And I was like, how can I tell these different chef stories or restaurant stories in a way that resonates with people and makes you want to go visit and also is kind of like memorable? Like, I don't think the red headlamp, like you'll never forget that. And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you grew up here?
Yep. New York Mills. Yeah. So I've been here for forever. So,
And I think food is ingrained in all of us because all of us that grew up here, like the food is just so fantastic. It
Yeah.
becomes part of your passion.
Share like a family story, right? I mean, I'm guessing this is in your DNA, and you probably have that
To be
grandma,
honest,
grandpa. No, not so much.
no, not so much. To be honest, I really just started. I just started watching a lot of Food Network.
Okay.
In college. Like,
That was my go-to.
I just
My go-to
love
every day.
watching these chefs on food. Like I watched every episode of Hell's Kitchen, of Guys Grocery Games. Like I watch all.
Rachel
this
Ray
stuff.
was one of my favorites
Yeah.
because she uses ingredients that are like easy. That's the
Yeah.
other thing,
I
you
like
know?
I also like the competition side of stuff. Like I
Yep.
really have been into that. And then like these food shows like Bon Appetit, Eater, Food Ins. Like I'm literally like at my desk eating, watching these stuff on the line, and you're like, this is like awesome. But I don't really. My mom has been a great cook, but I never really got inspired to cook until honestly I was living, and me and my wife and my kids, and I was just like, I want to just push my bike. What can I cook? Like, what can I do? And I was like, this will give me a reason to really try new things. Like, I don't think I would ever make a carrot cake whoopie pie if it wasn't for this thing. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
worst example, but
So, home story, and my wife will appreciate this. So, we're of Italian descent,
Mhm.
and grew up with the grandmas who cooked a lot. And Kelly's kind of carrying on this tradition where Sundays typically is it's always a
family
cooking
dinner
day. We have the
Sunday.
whole family over. It's usually a sauce, but when she makes sauce, she pairs it with.
Oh, the Italian music.
So-
so my
so
kids.
my kids-
that's
our
so
kids
funny.
will
I
tell
thought you were
you.
asking like a wine or a food or.
No.
Oh yeah.
So
This is
we
funny.
talk about like the shows pairing with the food. On Sunday, you will get Dean Martin,
For
Pandora
sure.
radio blasting. The kids
They know the words.
I love
drives
They're
them
forced
nuts,
to.
but she's like, the food tastes better.
It tastes so much
with
better
the
when you
Italian
play the
music
Italian
playing.
music.
it does.
Yep,
and it
it's
just
so
gets
funny.
you in the mood. Like
I
it
feel
really-
like now we have to invite you over on a Sunday
gotta come
to
over.
record
I'm
this
there.
because she might be second to Jeff Golden for the craziest person you've covered
Ah,
in the
that's
kitchen
great.
on a Sunday.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
the Italian music, the wine is for the cooking for half a second, and
Well,
then consumption
a
for the
lot
next
of
couple
recipes,
hours.
You need a cup of wine, and so if
Most
you,
recipes,
yeah,
you need a little
you
cup
need
of something.
you need a cup of wine, so you got to drink the rest of the bottle because you have to open the wine.
That's
so
true.
yeah, yep, that's
'Cause-
too funny.
All right, so this is good. This is our creative think tank. So you're gonna find out, if you haven't already, as the kids get older, your time is less yours. Okay.
Dude, what
So-
is time?
Yeah. So we've got 3 kids. We're always on the run. Multiple businesses. We don't binge watch like a lot of our friends and relatives can, who don't.
We can
aren't in the
commit to
thick
like
of it.
one episode
Like
a night.
45 minutes max. Sometimes I can't stay awake for that. But the point is, we get stuck in a rut where it's like, it's always popcorn, right? We're going to have
Yes,
popcorn,
we're gonna have
right?
popcorn.
Where I think this can like make it a little more spicy, right?
sure.
Like, start doing some shows and pairing, right? I mean, this is like real old people shit that I'm getting into right now. Like, this is how we're
I'm excited.
spicing
We're
up
not
our
old.
marriage on Netflix and a different kind of food. But no, and the other thing too is we have certain friends that will text for show suggestions when we're done with it. And the other thing too, with
Naturally.
like a series, 1 or 2 seasons, 3 max, we can't commit to anything
Yep.
too long. We know what we like. And when we have certain friends that will give us suggestions, and we're like, "What the hell?" Right?
Yeah.
Your sister's one of them.
Yeah, my
We can't take any suggestions from her.
Bert
Everything's
Doolin's another one, a
we
past
love
neighbor.
Bert, but
He
we
has
just
some
can't.
crazy show
yeah, he's always telling us
suggestions.
to watch stuff. We can't watch any of
You
it.
guys, your list must be like.
Oh my gosh.
But so the point is, online in this influencer space, if we had a couple like us that we knew shared, like, hey, they recommended this and we liked it, and then they recommended certain foods or whatever to go with it, we would follow them for suggestions.
For
so
sure.
I think you're onto something here.
Hope so.
And if you're looking for boomers like us, old people, to make suggestions, we can do that. We have a lot of opinions.
Love that. Opinions are good.
Just here selling ourselves, Jimmy.
That's fine.
There's no question there other than my solicitation.
I'm here for it.
All right. So where do you see Takes and Plays evolving
I
in the
just
next
told
few
you.
years? Like, you told me, but I want to know what he thinks is his business.
Yeah, I am basically just kind of going at my own pace. Like, I love the idea of just doing like a collab like once a month, maybe every other month at some point. I got a few restaurants I'm very excited to share coming up. I won't share them right now. But I don't know. Like I have a lot. Obviously, ideas are easy. Execution's hard. Like if Take Some Plates was an app, that'd be awesome. If people could just have that long list that everyone's recommending on a little queue, and maybe some recipes that are somehow like a thing, and like maybe you earn some like points, like some rewards points. You could maybe get a free shirt or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that'd be awesome. But right now, I'm at the point where it's like, okay, SEO is a marathon. It's not a sprint. What's next? More recipes. Movies and shows come out every month, every week. So it's just about, you know, and again, my approach has always been for this. You have two choices, timeless or timely. It's hard to be timely because things can pop off like that. And I don't have the time to be timely.
Sure.
So I choose the evergreen, like Donnie Darko came out like years ago, but it still holds up. Like I'm going to just recommend stuff I like, say, hey, here's a movie, here's a show, here's why I like it, and here's a recipe, and you should try it, and here's the fun little video of why they pair together. I'm just going to go at my own pace, and hopefully people follow along, find it humorous, find it, you know, and
I love that you're taking older movies, because Scott and I fall into the new movies. Like, we haven't really laughed hard at a new movie in a long time, and we're like, maybe it's our sense of humor that has not evolved
It's
with
us,
the
not
time.
them.
It's us, not them. But then we introduce our kids to movies, and like Connor was on the whole. I mean,
anything
Usual
from our-
Suspects. I mean, some of them.
Anything
And
from
he's
our
like,
college years.
well, he's like, oh my God, these were great.
Yeah.
And if
Just
I
to
could cook
validate
for him,
that they were good movies.
if I could cook for him at the same time and have like food
Something,
and a
yeah.
movie, like it's just
part of the experience.
It's great.
There are actually restaurants that are even popping up that are like doing something like that you can go to, and they'll do the Home Alone. They'll give you the mac and cheese, like when you eat
Yeah.
it, they'll do all this stuff. So it's kind of funny. But I will say, in your defense, shows are even more popular now than movies.
Movies, for
it's-
sure.
You know, nothing against movies, but I just think that the trend with all these different streaming platforms, all these actors and actresses, they want to just do these shows. Like the casts have been incredible. Like they're all doing original concepts. Max, Hulu, Netflix, like Peacock. I mean Paramount. Like I mean Jesus, that's another thing. Like I wanted to help people because there's so many platforms out there. I originally had a filter on and to be able to filter by but I can't keep track of
No,
all
you
that.
can't.
I need a way for
it's
that to
never
pull
ending,
in. I
yeah.
haven't gotten to that. So, you know, if anyone out there wants to help, I'm all ears.
Well, you know, and actors and actresses, they follow the money.
Yeah, how
and
can you
know
not?
the big production, the big ticket movie, like it's just everyone's spending money on Netflix and Hulu and
For sure. And we're guilty of this. We don't go to the movies ever. Like
When was the last time you've been?
I can't even remember when's the last show that we went to see?
wow.
That's a
So-
great question.
I went and saw Oppenheimer in the theaters. That was my last time.
We did
You
not.
just
see that
got
in the
done with
theater.
that, didn't you?
Oh, I took
was
my
long.
daughter. I took my daughter to the movie theaters to see that. It ends with us because we had both
my
read
wife
the
went
book.
to that too.
We had both read the book, but like as far as Scott and I, like a date night, like movies, like that's not what interests
Four
me.
Christmases? Was
Maybe.
that
Oh, that
12
was so,
years ago?
Yeah, probably.
Well, the idea of this too, like I would love for this to be a date night thing, right?
That's what I'm saying. The comfort of your home. We're like,
Yes,
we'll wait for it to come out because we want to be in our home watching it instead.
The older I get, the more I want to be home too. And
Exactly.
I think I'm not alone with that. So the idea is, hey, here's a movie. Here's a thing to eat. That is one night. However, there are some shows, might be a couple date nights. You need to kind of, chip away at that.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that was another angle there that I haven't really explored too much. There's just so much like potential that you're trying to tap into. But again, when you gotta just kind of go at your own pace, you're just like, slowly going after it.
What's an unexpected lesson, Jimmy? Something that popped up in this journey,
Good Lord.
or an expected lesson? Any lesson will
Yeah,
do.
I mean, there's a lot. You kind of, when you dive into this stuff, you learn a lot. I would say the first thing is just patience, right? I've never been a patient person, but you have to be patient because to get the things you want, like the outcome you want, you have to just take your time. The only people with like the deadlines and like it's yourself, right? No one's putting a deadline on you. People, yeah, of course, when they follow you, they want content, they want to see more stuff, but just like things take time, and that's okay. Like it's okay to not have it done tomorrow. Like it can take a month. It can take whatever. Like as long as you get to it and you do it within your own like.
And it is so much like a recipe, because I'm telling you right now, the first time you make something, you're like, oh, I might do this a little bit different, and I might do this different. Like I could not make meatballs when I first started because my grandmother's meatballs were the best. And I'm like, well, I have to learn how to do this. And over time, as you perfect things, as you change things, you get to where you want to be with your food and with your mission. So I think the correlation is awesome.
Those mashed potatoes took me probably 5 times to get
right. And sometimes it's the most simple things, and you're like, why can't I make this?
I know. I mean, look at this. Chicken parm.
Grating? Were you grating?
No, it's the oil. Like I'm like, my wife put Neosporin on like I'm 7. Like I just, like I'm still making these mistakes.
For those on audio, Jimmy's flipping us off.
I
apparently has a burn on his middle finger.
I finally bought one of those cheese graters like this instead of using the box grater, because I used to cut my finger all the time, and it was so annoying.
Lesson 1. Okay, so I probably have learned a few more things. I would say, again, appreciation for the cooks and the chefs. I think watching it on television and YouTube and all that stuff, watching these different cooking shows, and then being in the kitchen, like this is a lot of hard work. Like I have a newfound appreciation for chefs, cooks, restaurants. I was the Utica thing. I was in that kitchen for an hour and I was sweating bullets. Like
I'm sure.
It is no joke.
Yeah.
So
long
just
hours, nights, weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's
yeah. Well, we had Tucker Rosemeyer on from 1886 Prime, and we said, what's the common misconception about the restaurant business? And he's like, that it's hard.
Yeah, it really is.
People think it's easy.
I mean, you think about it, like people, especially now more than ever, when we're like so spoiled with like Amazon and DoorDash, and we want things like instant gratification. Yep. If it's not like great or perfect, then they're like, man, I don't like it.
And
just use my voice.
Yeah.
Just so negative.
Does that for everything. That's great.
It's a go-to.
But honestly, you got to talk about patience. There's your $1 million business advice in a nutshell. It's the 2 reasons people fail is they don't start, and then those that do start, they don't have the patience to see it through. When they don't get that immediate gratification, those instant results, they quit on their dream or their vision, and then they blame something else, which is easy to do. Yeah. But you got to start and you got to finish, and that sounds so elementary, but 99% of the people won't do one or the other.
And some people are just so judgmental, like you just said. Like you go to a restaurant, and there's so many other things that play into just the plate that's put in front of you, that chef worked so hard at, the way you were greeted, the atmosphere, the waitress, and it's like sometimes you got to give people a break.
100%.
Like,
do you think chefs get too bogged down trying to please everybody? I mean, I feel like if you had a core, you talk about this with Javon Pratt with the Roosters, right? There's like 4 burgers. That's it. When we had him on, he's like, I don't want to expand. Like, that's what we do. And then we go to some restaurants, and there's like 4 pages of options, and you can't be great at everything. No. So, what are your thoughts? Like, do you prefer people who just narrow the focus on a few things?
I think it's good to try different things. Like I've always, and that's another reason I wanted to do this. I wanted to push people to watch something they haven't or know they should, and I want people to make something that they should try to make if it sounds enticing, but they're too afraid to try. But to your point, like do what you're good at. But I was never good at editing. Like I wanted to just upload content and hide behind my brand. And when I first started, I used AI voice. My friend Adam, like I was like, me and Adam are gonna take this to the moon. Like, no, that's not gonna work. Like I've seen a lot of accounts on TikTok just literally AI everything from the script to the voice to the video. It's like, yeah, I could do that. No, it takes human touch, and you have to be on camera. One of the first skits I did was Living with Yourself with Paul Rudd, and I was like, I have to clone myself here. Like I don't have a choice. I have to be on camera. And I was like, of course, it was my best performing post. I'm like, God damn it. Like, okay, well, here we go. Like, I have to do this more. But, I had to try. Like, and that's the only thing. Like, I don't know if that's really answering your question, because with restaurants, like, the really good ones, their menus are like this. You go to, like, Nola's, for example, like, they change their menu seasonally, and they do daily specials. I think that's one way to kind of do both, right? You should try new things with your specials. If some flop, that's fine. At least you tried. But some stick, maybe it makes the menu for next time.
You got the staples.
Yeah.
And people do like consistency. They, you know,
For
if
sure.
their favorite dish is not there, they. Meh.
Oh God! How
Where's
many
my
more times
favorite
are we going to hear this?
This might carry into the next interview.
They will throw a hissy fit.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy, for putting that in his head today. That's just great.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But what I do want to say is with TikTok and the younger kids, I've got to say that like my kids, they're like, I want to make this if they see a reel on TikTok
they
or
do
something.
that a lot.
They do that a lot. So you are playing to the younger
trying.
demographic because like they're trying. Whereas when I was that age, I wasn't trying to cook. I just wanted my mom or my grandmother or somebody else to do it for me.
I toasted
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts. Sometimes I
That's
put
what you
butter
did.
on them.
But I'm telling, I think younger kids are wanting to cook, and I love where you're going with this. I
Yeah,
think it's
Pairs
great.
well with the Smurfs.
Yeah,
On Saturday
Oh my
morning.
God.
Blueberry? No, I originally started because I grabbed a camera and a lens and I just took pictures because I
Yeah.
needed it for my website. And then you're like, okay, well, I can use that somewhat for some social content. But really, you're right. Videos it's hard to convey the actual recipe across. But I think as our attention spans shrink like to the size of an acorn. People just want the
reels,
video,
the quick
It's
video.
also again, everything I've done is on an iPhone. Like you don't need the fanciest equipment like a Sony A whatever you got over there, but it does help. A lot of creators do a great job with it, but yeah, the videos. It's again something
huge.
something I'm not used to doing. I'm just diving into it and just trying my best.
Yep.
Well, let's give the
All right.
people what they want. The
ra-
quick hitting,
the rapid fires.
questions. And I know you're going to turn the tables on us,
Yep.
and I'm probably going to choke.
Yeah, Christ.
Meh.
Man.
All right, let's go. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? What's your favorite?
I mean, can I rank them or do you want them?
Oh, yeah, rank them.
Okay, cool. So I go lunch first because I'm a big sandwich guy, and I think dinners are normally for forks and knives, and I love me a good sandwich. And then I'm gonna go with dinner because I like to sip some wine with my dinner like you, and I think that there's nothing like you can't have pasta for breakfast or lunch, so I'm gonna go with dinner number 2, and then breakfast I hardly eat it, so that's the reason. Like sometimes I'll just do breakfast for dinner and cheat and say
Yeah, that's what we do.
So-
That's a go-to of ours. We
Yeah.
don't eat breakfast either, but I think breakfast might be my favorite. So when we switch breakfast to dinner time, it's a win.
Or a lot of
It's a
times
win.
we'll do
Everyone
brunch,
wins.
and then you can get that. It's more like 11, 12 o'clock, but you're still eating
And
breakfast food.
you can
Yeah.
acceptably drink in the morning if it's brunch.
on Saturdays or Sundays.
All right, most overrated food trend right now.
Oh goodness, like the one pan. I think it actually is a movie or a show. I actually don't know what the name of it, but they put everything in one pan and then they cook it and they're like make it and it's in a video format and it's supposed to be good. And I'm like, that doesn't look very good at all. I don't know what it is.
A dump dish or
Yeah,
something
I
like
don't know
that.
what it is,
yeah,
but-
no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'd have to think of a different.
I'll give you an easier one.
Yeah.
Movie you've watched more times than you can count.
Probably Step Brothers.
That's
It's just a
great.
go-to comedy. I know there's a
Catalina-
lot of people
Catalina
out there.
wine mixer.
There's a lot of people out there that don't like Will Ferrell for some reason. But
Really?
Oh, one of my best friends and both my father and mother-in-law, they just can't stand him. I'm like, I digress.
I got one that I'm just come up with on my own.
Wow. Okay.
I
First
know,
time in
right.
show history.
Well, is there any food that no matter how hard you try, you can't make? You just
that
can't
I've
perfect
struggled
it.
with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not good at baking. Like I have yet to perfect the art of a chocolate chip cookie. Do you know how I love cookies?
They're either flat.
They're
or
flat. Or
I
dude,
know.
the
I
worst is
know.
the puffy cookie.
I
I'm like,
know.
I just poured my heart and soul into this cookie, and it's not even that good.
Or it's raw.
Or,
and you're like, oh.
I actually don't mind raw, but or the bottom was burnt. Like I literally just made my favorite cookie is a peanut butter with chocolate chip in it because it's like the best of both worlds.
Yep.
And it was so good, but the bottoms were just a little over.
Baking is
It's like
because it's
chemistry.
precise. Because you need, whereas cooking, you can just put
Little
a little bit of
this,
this.
little-
Yeah, there you go.
She gets
Okay.
it. She gets
Yep.
it.
Oh yeah, when you answered that way, I could just see her light up. She hates.
Not a
she loves to
baker.
cook, hates to bake.
I do
Yeah.
bake Christmas cookies.
She
and,
is good at.
Ugh.
So our second son is Connor, and she does make chocolate chip cookies,
Oh, my
and they've
God,
become
this-
known as CMCs at the school. Connor's mom's cookies.
Oh,
Yep.
I might have
he
to.
gets ambushed. He gets ambushed for him.
I need to give those a
Oh,
sample.
that's so funny.
All right, favorite local Central New York hidden gem restaurant. We might have already talked about this, but if you got a different one,
I don't know if I have any other hidden gems because a true hidden gem is something no one's heard of, and it's hard in such a local
Well,
community.
not that no one, but the masses haven't
Right,
heard of.
and that's why Golden's was so
And that's
good,
right,
is because
yeah.
I didn't even hear of it, and I was like, well, this seems like it makes sense because you should have at least heard of most of these places. But for her to drive up and down Genesee and not because the signage isn't that great, you know, like,
Yeah, and I'll go one further with your content. Is I've seen it's a Utica thing all over with food trucks, events,
And the jar sauce. We've definitely
That's what they're
purchased
sauces
it, right.
Until this morning when I watched
didn't know
your
it was a
video,
restaurant?
I didn't know it was a physical
Oh my
location.
gosh.
it just happened a few years ago, and
Yep.
the storytelling aspect, maybe maybe a news crew shows up once, maybe a press release, but other than that, it's if you're not on Google and it's hard to be out there. So.
Dream filming location for a Take Some Place episode. Could be anywhere.
You know, it would be really cool if I went to Gordon Ramsay and did like a Hell's Kitchen kind of thing there, even though it's Gordon Ramsay, but like talk about a collaboration. That would be incredible, right?
Well, and that is what's funny about what we talked about with local chefs not wanting to tell the story. But when you go mainstream, you know all these chefs,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
are the personality, and people spend twice as much as they should at their restaurants because it's Gordon
Because of the
Ramsay's
story.
kitchen,
Yeah.
But it's
I mostly just want to try the risotto, but yeah, sure.
yeah. I just want
Or
to
the
send. I want to
beef
send it
Wellington.
back. I
Or
want to
the
send
beef
the risotto
Wellington. He was
back.
always mad that everybody, your beef Wellington is undercooked.
All right. Any surprising food and film pairings that you discovered? Something you stumbled upon that you're like, ooh, I like this.
Yes. So, let's see. There's a few I could choose from right now. I haven't promoted them yet.
You're about to.
But I'm about to. One of my favorite alien movies is Arrival. And I don't know if you've seen Arrival because
No.
you don't have time, whatever excuses you guys make.
And we're not. The last good alien movie was E.T.
I gotta get him
stand
to
by
stay up
that.
past 9 o'clock.
No, you know what? You don't have an excuse because you're up till 11:30. He's at bed at 10. You got an hour and a
But
half.
then,
That's
like,
at
he
least
gets
2
mad at me if
episodes.
I watch stuff
That's
without
his fault.
him.
That's his fault. That's on him.
This is Jimmy's interview. We'll work through our problems later.
These aliens, they communicate with this like ink thing. I won't spoil it, but there's ink in it, and first thing I think of ink with food was squid ink pasta, and
yeah.
that was fun. I made myself laugh quite a bit with that
Okay.
one. So
I got one more quick one. Favorite food.
favorite food.
It's a hard one, but if you have to pick one.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, it's probably sushi. I love
Okay.
sushi. There's so many different kinds of sushi. And my favorite, top 3 probably would be like Alaska roll, yellowtail scallion roll, and then like a spicy tuna or something.
Okay.
But yeah, sushi.
Jimmy Fellone takes and plates. When I tried to Google you, that bastard Jimmy Fallon shows up. It just Google hates
Did you spell
me
it
trying
right?
to find you. I
You
did.
just you gotta get more specific with
now
it.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Fallon's got the Google thing down
He's
because
got
he's
it
just changing
down.
his name, your
Fell
name.
one, hard to
Oh,
beat
how do
him.
people find you? I mean, obviously it's takes plates.
Yeah. So if you want to just find a movie or a show that you might like, it's takesomeplates.com. If you want to see how I promote and pair these things, best place would be Instagram, TikTok. Username Takes and Plates. And hope you find it funny or at least a little bit enjoyable, and follow me there.
Thanks, brother.